Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us. Team Mosso at the 1916 Company. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to us for pricing. Mosso at the 1916company.com. Today we are discussing a watch that combines the best of Hublot. You are looking at the Big Bang Meca-10 in media blasted titanium. This is a gorgeous watch with a 10-day power reserve, quick release straps, 100 meters of water resistance, and ergonomics that mean it's the big watch that wears small. Well, how small? Let's start with the measurements. They're big, not surprising. This is an Hublot in titanium, so 45 millimeters in diameter, 15.8 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 56.9 millimeters. But because it is in titanium, composite plastic, and sapphire, it's very light. You can also see the downward cant of the lugs. So when I put it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, sure, it's big and it looks big and there's no getting around the size of it. Nevertheless, it's very comfortable. And I would say that if your wrist is my size or larger, you can wear this watch. You can see proportionally, the more of my arm and hand you see, the better the fit looks. So this is a watch that a person my size with my sized arm could wear. Just keep in mind, if you are 16 centimeters circumference like me, you're going to need an oval wrist, not a really round wrist, to wear this watch. It's not going to fit under a cuff, but it might actually fit underneath a jacket. Over the top, it looks massive, but that always exaggerates the width of the watch anyway. Hublot's famous push-button, car seatbelt inspired quick release is present here. The strap, a longtime Hublot signature, rubber with striations and character lines on the top. You can replace it just as easily by sticking it into the flank, press the button and it pops out. Now, Hublot has other strap colors and other strap materials. There's even leather available if you're interested in dressing this watch up, so the quick release system is quite handy. Hublot gives us a buckle that includes a piece of ceramic as well as titanium. Push the triggers to open it up. You have to press both of them. One is not enough. And then that ensures security against accidental deployment. Inside, you can see we have an H-style chassis for the buckle, and then there are two prongs, and you tuck the strap in, you pin it down on the prongs, and then the strap and all the excess length tucks in under the clasp, which removes the need for strap minders and keeps the excess length invisible. In profile, of course, every Hublot Big Bang owes a debt of gratitude to Emmanuel Goetz' 1993 Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. If there were not an offshore, there would not be a Big Bang. Nevertheless, the Hublot has developed its own organic style, particularly since the launch of the Unico over a decade ago. The Big Bang has moved in a different direction than the offshore. We have profiles that expose a little bit of a recess, almost as though the watch is a building under construction and we're looking at the structure through the scaffolding. The bolts, or I should say screws here, feature an H pattern to remind you who made the watch. We have plastic in profile. We have a plastic gasket for the bezel. And then on the crown side, we have a crown, again with the Hublot H, featuring satin finish and media blast. This has a rubber shoulder that makes it easy to grip. And although it is a push down and not a screw down crown, the watch is 100 meters water resistant. Now, everything that you see that is titanium is media blasted, giving it a moody, soft, warm shading. It's not bright titanium. It's not even directional brushed titanium. It has a light absorbing matte finish that looks almost like gray ceramic. It's very subdued and upscale. The dial is essentially one and the same as the caliber HUB 1201. So you can see there's a lot going on here. We have small seconds, we have the balance and escapement, we have the primary power reserve, which tracks the 10 days of power reserve. Then we have a secondary power reserve. The red appears when you get down to 48 hours of power reserve remaining. So there's two different power reserve indicators, and you can see these things are all geared and interlocked. So primary is geared to the secondary, which has another Hublot H in it, and then the secondary is geared to a rack and pinion system on the top that operates off the uppermost barrel in the movement. Because it has 240 hours of power reserve, it needs two barrels in series in order to achieve that kind of power transmission. So the way this works is you've got two huge mainspring barrels which are partially skeletonized. You can see the mainsprings and they get tighter and tighter and coil up more visibly as you wind. The watch has 24 pivot jewels and it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, a slightly lower beat rate meant to extend the power reserve. Take a look at the bridges. They're blackened, they're matted, and they're designed to resemble Meccano. If you are an international viewer of this channel, if you're an American like me, you would associate this design with the Erector set toys that we had for technically oriented kids who could build structures and machines. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, watch The Sandlot. You'll see what I say. The Sandlot was a great demonstration of what a genius/nerd kid can do with an Erector set. But this watch right here is what genuine geniuses in Hublot's watchmaking department were able to create using micromechanics. As you can see, the dial has incredible depth, texture, tone, shading, and materials. This is an Hublot, a rare Hublot, that is all about the movement rather than the style, and I deeply appreciate that, and they really did nail the Erector set look. There is some lume. In fact, you'll find that there's actually quite a pleasing amount of lume. The watch is easy to read in the dark. If you love this watch, reach out to us, Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing.